Edward Abbey's Desert Solitaire is a profound, vivid, and poetic memoir that blends nature writing, philosophical reflection, and a critique of modern industrial society. Published in 1968, the book recounts Abbey's experiences as a seasonal park ranger in the Arches National Monument, now Arches National Park, in southeastern Utah during the late 1950s. Through a series of essays, Abbey explores the beauty and solitude of the desert, the ecological and spiritual value of wilderness, and his disdain for the encroachment of industrial tourism and urban development into natural spaces. Setting the stage: Abbey's arrival in the desert. Abbey begins by describing his arrival at Arches National Monument, where he will spend 6 months living alone in a government trailer, surrounded by the vast, untamed desert. He immediately conveys his deep love for the wilderness, emphasizing its stark beauty, silence, and simplicity. The desert, for Abbey, is more than a physical landscape. It is a spiritual haven, a place that offers freedom from the trappings of modern civilization. Solitude and connection with nature. In one of the book's central themes, Abbey reflects on the value of solitude in fostering a deeper connection with nature. Free from the distractions of urban life, he immerses himself in the rhythms of the natural world. Whether hiking through canyons, observing wildlife, or simply sitting under the stars, Abbey experiences a profound sense of unity with the desert. His vivid descriptions bring the landscape to life, capturing its stark contrasts, from the searing heat of the day to the cool stillness of the night. Abbey also introduces readers to the flora and fauna of the region, describing cacti, junipers, lizards, and coyotes with the eye of a naturalist and the heart of a poet. He portrays the desert not as barren or lifeless but as a vibrant, dynamic ecosystem full of wonder and resilience. Critique of industrial tourism. A recurring theme in Desert Solitaire is Abbey's criticism of industrial tourism and its impact on natural spaces. He laments the construction of roads, campgrounds, and other infrastructure designed to make national parks more accessible to tourists. Abbey argues that such developments destroy the very wilderness they aim to showcase, replacing its raw, untamed character with sanitized and controlled environments. Abbey advocates for limiting access to parks to preserve their wildness. He proposes measures such as banning automobiles within park boundaries and requiring visitors to hike or ride horses instead. While acknowledging that his views may be seen as radical, Abbey passionately defends the intrinsic value of wilderness, arguing that it should be preserved for its own sake, not merely as a commodity for human enjoyment. Encounters and adventures. Throughout the book, Abbey recounts various adventures and encounters that illustrate the joys and challenges of life in the desert. In one chapter, he describes his exploration of a remote canyon, where he experiences both the exhilaration and the danger of navigating rugged terrain. In another, he details a rafting trip down the Colorado River, celebrating the river's power and beauty while lamenting the construction of dams that have tamed its flow. Abbey also interacts with a handful of human characters, including cowboys, uranium miners, and fellow park rangers. These encounters provide a contrast to his solitary existence and offer insights into the diverse ways people relate to the desert. Some see it as a resource to be exploited, while others share Abbey's reverence for its wildness. Reflections on mortality and time. Interwoven with Abbey's observations of the desert are reflections on mortality and the passage of time. The ancient rock formations of Arches, shaped by millions of years of erosion, serve as a reminder of nature's vast timescale, which dwarfs human life. Abbey contemplates the transience of human endeavors and the enduring power of the natural world, finding solace in the desert's permanence. At the same time, Abbey acknowledges the fragility of the desert ecosystem and the threats it faces from human activity. His writing is both a celebration of the desert's resilience and a call to action to protect it from destruction. Philosophical musings and radical environmentalism. Desert Solitaire is as much a philosophical treatise as it is a memoir. Abbey challenges readers to rethink their relationship with nature and question the values of modern society. He critiques consumerism, urbanization, and technological dependence, arguing that they alienate people from the natural world and from themselves. Abbey's views often verge on radical environmentalism. He advocates for civil disobedience and direct action to resist environmental destruction, a stance that would later influence the environmental movement. At the same time, his writing is infused with humor and irony, making his critiques both provocative and entertaining. The beauty and harshness of the desert. One of the book's most compelling aspects is Abbey's ability to capture the duality of the desert. He describes its beauty in poetic detail, from the golden light of sunrise to the intricate patterns of wind-carved rocks. Yet he also acknowledges its harshness and indifference to human life. The desert, Abbey reminds us, is not a paradise but a place of extremes, where survival requires respect and adaptability. This duality reflects Abbey's broader philosophy. The desert's challenges are part of what makes it valuable. Its wildness, unpredictability, and lack of comfort force individuals to confront their limits and connect with something greater than themselves. Conclusion. A call to preserve the wild. As Desert Solitaire draws to a close, Abbey reflects on his impending departure from the desert and the encroaching threats to its integrity. He urges readers to recognize the importance of preserving wilderness as a refuge from the pressures of modern life and as a source of spiritual renewal. Abbey's call to action is both personal and political, inviting readers to experience the transformative power of nature and to fight for its protection. Legacy and impact. Since its publication, Desert Solitaire has become a classic of environmental literature, inspiring generations of readers and activists. Abbey's eloquent defense of wilderness and his critique of industrial tourism remain as relevant today as they were in the 1960s. The book's enduring appeal lies in its combination of lyrical prose, passionate advocacy, and unflinching honesty.